Welcome back to another worthless mutts. I am Gore the Dog Butcher. Back again to give my perspective and insight on things that go on dog culture. As we all know, in dog culture. Everything what we said about dog culture comes from the cartoons and the movies, and people take that as fact. In reality, everything about dog culture is just made up. It's just made up to justify these worthless mutts known as the dog, or domesticated dog, and just for people to keep hang out to have them in our society. They do make up a lot of nonsense about these dogs. One dog can have a dog that never is attacked. And immediately they result in dogs are great. While ignoring the hundreds others of dogs that have attacked and hundreds of complaints about dogs. Dog culture is one of the only cultures that is so anti-truth, anti-honest. They're not honest to their fellow dog lovers. If anything, culture has gotten a lot of dogs killed by dogs. It has gotten a lot of people killed. Misled people, make their life stressful. Illness and all this. There's a lot of horrible things about dogs. But this dog culture. It will ignore that in order to push this dog propaganda, telling their lies, excuses, having these ridiculous dog videos. You see them all over YouTube. A dog just looks at itself in the mirror. Oh, that's gonna get like a million views, and all the dog nuts are gonna like. You have all these dog memes, dogs are better than people. It's very ridiculous. But anyways, very ridiculous. Today's show we're going to be talking about a few mainly about dogs attacking their owners, rescue dogs attacking dogs that they've just adopted attacking. For instance, we're going to be discussing this dog attack at an adoption event in Dallas. We will be looking at this lady being attacked by her adopted dog. We will be looking at this recently that was mauled by pit bulls in that kennel. Also be touching base on the rescue dog that snaps and kills a woman at Broward. Also be discussing a woman being mauled at a Florida animal shelter, and probably lastly, more dog nuttery of dog nuts. Opening a dog sanctuary for stray dogs, and a lot more other things. But that's just a few things. That we've been discussing, and my insight and my perspective of things. Has been going on this dog culture. There's not a lot of anti-dog or dog in the airwaves. I wish there was more. So I'm just doing my part to let others know, hey, you're not alone. other people hate dogs. I hate dogs. It's okay to hate. It's okay to hate to like. You don't have to like them. You don't have to own them. These are the facts. These are the facts. You may have suspicions about them. Hey, your suspicions have been correct. Dogs are just worthless. They're horrible. They stink. They're full of diseases. They cause too much. They cause too many problems. Too many problems. Hey, you're not alone. You're not alone. You're not in this crusade against these worthless mutts. But anyways, we're gonna head to Dallas and see what they're discussing today. We're not today, but over 6 years ago. But again, these stories are still relevant. They're still relevant. I mean, they treat dogs as perfect and harmless, but yet dogs, even at adoption events, are attacking children. But anyway, let's hear what they have to say.
Adoption event. They're hoping that no one else gets hurt as a result. They were at Clyde Warren Park.
I hope you can hear it. I hope you can hear it well.
Year-old when one of those dogs up for adoption went on the attack. New for you here at 10 o'clock. Ken Malestina live in West Dallas.
Yeah, well, you know, tonight, that dog in question, it is locked up in quarantine here at the Dallas Animal Services. The family says they're just thankful their boy's injuries weren't any worse. We're going to show them to you, but we also want to warn you that some of these images might be hard to look at.
Here I guess.
2-year-old Luca is slowly getting back to being his old playful self after surviving what his parents describe as a horrifying dog attack.
The dog lunged out and bit him in the right arm and chest. Pulled him to the ground.
I'm sorry, my computer's being laggy at this moment. I was trying to pause it. I do hope you can hear the volume of the video. I really do hope. I really do hope. 1 second. Just want to see that all my systems are good. I mean, it looks good. But anyways, we're gonna hear what they have to say.
And was like flailing him around, and 4 or 5 guys had to come in and literally pry the teeth off of him.
The boy's mother says it all happened this past Saturday at a rescue adoption event in Dallas's.
From the get-go, this dog attacks, and it takes over 5 men, or at least 5 adults, to stop a dog from attacking. And this is the dog that they want someone else to adopt. This is the dog that they want to be adopted with a family with children.
Clyde Warren Park. Dallas Pets Alive, the volunteer organization that put the event on, confirms the dog in question is this brown pit bull mix named Rusty.
He gave no warning signs, and he just kind of just jumped out at him. Yeah.
The puncture.
See, just like, I hate dogs, always says, this dog gave no warning signs and attacked a child at an adoption event. And it took over 5 adults to take the dog off. And in this household, it's 2 adults. So if 5 adults cannot stop this dog from attacking, how are 2 adults going to do this? How is 1 adult going to do this?
Wounds and the stitches on the little boy are still fresh, and so are the memories of what this family had to endure. Dallas Animal Services is now evaluating the dog and placed it in quarantine. But these parents,
we think it needs to be put down.
I think it needs to be put down.
Are convinced Rusty needs to be euthanized.
We just don't want anybody else to get hurt.
Our kid got mauled, and if it wasn't for those guys, he possibly wouldn't be here. I never got the...
They mentioned that they want the dog put down. We're going to finish this video. There's another video about this where they state that, it's not. They state that it's not the dog's fault. But listen up.
I never got the names of the guys that helped out, but wherever you are, thank you.
And in a statement tonight, Dallas Pets Alive, they said, quote, "We are aware of the incident and have been working closely with authorities and family involved so that we can gain a full understanding of what took place. Rusty will remain here for about another 5 days or so until the end of that quarantine period is over. At that point, we're being told that an animal expert will make a final recommendation as to what is next."
Like, it's ironic how these things, you know, literally just attacked a child at an adoption event, and they're still, you know, wasting time. They're still wasting time with this thing, or they did waste time. And you know, these parents should feel guilty though. They should feel 100% guilty for even wanting a dog, for then even going with their child to an event like this, to a place like this. Like, they should be like 100% guilty. Because if you had not gone here, the attack of a dog attacking your son would have not have happened. But as ignorant and arrogant as these dog nutters are, they bring their child to I'm guessing it's an animal dog shelter. You bring the most attacked to a place that is filled with dogs. Does that make any sense? In this heading, they said the dog is to be euthanized, but the Dallas Rescue Group says they stand behind the dog that bit the toddler. This is pure dog nuttery. Let's hear what they have to say, and please excuse any lagging, please. Things are lagging real bad.
Rescue thinks a dog deserves a second chance after attacking a 2-year-old boy at an adoption event 2 weeks ago. Luca Romero needed stitches after the bite at Clyde Warren Park. This week, Dallas Animal Services.
In the previous video, they said the dog is on some quarantine for 5 days. In this video, they just said that it's been 2 weeks, but yet they're still standing behind the dog. Let's see what they said again. Again, excuse the lagging. Again, sometimes the computer lags. It's fine, and it's not fine. It's unpredictable.
Dog deserves a second chance after attacking a 2-year-old boy at an adoption event 2 weeks ago. Luca Romero needed stitches after the bite at Clyde Warren Park.
In the other video, it said that the dog's on quarantine for 5 days. Then they're going to decide what to do. Now it's 2 weeks. 2 weeks is over what? 14 days. That's more than 5 days. Why is this dog still alive?
Park. This week, Dallas Animal Services decided the dog had caused serious injuries and seized it from the rescue. Fox Sports' Blake Hansen has more on the effort to save the dog and why the boy's mother has such a big problem with it. Blake.
Steve, the Rescue Dallas Pets Alive held that event here on December 16th. Today, a rescue spokesperson sent me a lengthy statement claiming that the dog had no history of aggression and that the child was left unattended and likely had spooked the dog. The boy's mother claims that that is not true.
See, these dog nutters, even after a dog has attacked an individual, they will use various excuses to protect these worthless mutts. It doesn't matter what dogs do. Now they're saying that the child spooked the dog, and that warranted for an attack. We're hearing that the dog didn't show any warning signs. Whether or not the dog showed warning signs or not, whether or not the child spooked the dog or not, causing attack, this only proves further that these dogs do not belong in the home. Why would you want to bring something in the home that's going to get spooked? Kids are going to be running, going to be making noise, going to be doing a lot of these silly things, jumping left to right. And you're telling me the dog attacked because it got spooked. Telling me this thing has been alive in these shelters for quite a long time. It probably has been spooked before. And it gets spooked once again and it decides to attack. Where it needs over 5 people, 5 adults, to stop attacking. Why do they think, even if this thing has history of attack or not, why do they continue to think that this dog is suitable? Why would they want to protect a dog like this after witnessing, after knowing that it has attacked? Maybe before it didn't have a bite history, but now it does. And they're going to just ignore that because these dog nutters in the dog industry, they don't care about who's hurt. They don't care about the victims. They are so delusional and just mentally ill. They only care about these dogs.
True. Note we have blurred some photos of injuries because they are tough to look at.
And it's obvious that he's traumatized by the event.
2-year-old Luca Romero's wounds are still healing after the bite. His mother's memory of that day still vivid.
The dog wasn't growling or posturing or, glaring at him or anything like that.
Alice Cho says they had asked permission for her son to pet the dog Rusty at the adoption event at Clyde Warren Park December 16th. She says he went to pet other dogs and then came back to Rusty when Rusty lunged and bit.
Literally pulled him to the ground and was flailing him around when all these guys
just
kind of
this
zoned
child
in the dog and tried to pry the dog off of our son.
Dallas Animal Services determined this week that the dog had caused serious bodily injury. It seized Rusty. A judge could now decide whether he goes back to his owners or is euthanized. Thursday, Dallas Pets Alive released a statement making a case for Rusty.
So this child was already petting other dogs and wasn't attacked. So the dog lovers would say, oh, the child and the dog, they bond, they're friendly, that child and dogs go together. Now the child is attacked by one and we get comments like this blaming the child. What about before? What about before? What is the, who cares? What about before? What about before? We don't know what happened before. But let's say that the child also was unattended with other dogs and they didn't attack. These same dog lovers would be saying children and dogs go together. They make these memes about it, make videos and all these pictures about it with hearts and all these things. Then the child goes to one dog unattended and it attacks. And now they want to blame parents, blame the children now. See, in this dog culture, they have arguments for every side. They have something to say for every side. If a child is not attacked, they say child and dogs go together. Once a child is attacked, they're going to blame the child for doing something.
Rusty to live. It said while the child had been in the area prior to the incident with his mother, at the time of the incident, he had approached Rusty on his own. Rusty was on a leash and in a seated position and had shown no signs of aggression at the event. This leads us to conclude that when the unattended child approached Rusty, the dog likely reacted in fear.
When the incident happened,
we hear these things from, I hate dogs, says it a lot. Dogs attacking in fear, child unattended, child provoked, and same nonsense. Even 6 years ago, they've been spewing the same rhetoric that doesn't hold up. This video, only 3.9K views in 6 years. Guarantee a lot of dog nuts haven't even heard about this story. These stories just come and then they just go. Because they don't want to let the dog nutters know that, hey, dogs are dangerous. They don't want this type of stuff getting into their psyche. Because that could, jeopardize their dog nuttery. But these attacks happen so often. And the excuses they use, it's so redundant. Can this continue?
And he was literally like 2 feet away from me. I saw the whole thing, go down.
While the group's statement also said the dog had no history of aggression, when pressed, it revealed it only had the animal for a year, and the dog aggression when.
So I'm trying to rewind it.
Go down. It's literally like.
I want to see what she's saying. I want to hear what she's saying.
This leads us to conclude that when the unattended child approached Rusty, the dog likely reacted in fear.
When the incident happened, he was literally like 2 feet away from me. I saw the whole thing, go down.
While the group's statement also said the dog had no history of aggression,
this is the mother.
When pressed, it revealed it only had the animal.
Saying the child was like 2 feet away from her. But we have dog nuts in the comments who weren't actually there. Trying to protect this dog. Some are saying don't leave, never leave your child unattended around, dogs. These adoption events can bring stress, anxiety, even to the calmest dogs. Why? Why are they being stressed out for? Shouldn't these dogs be happy that someone is going to take them to a forever home? But they're stressed out for what? So stressed out they're going to attack someone that could be potentially feeding them, taking them out for walks. Parents need to start disciplining their children when they act inappropriately. See, these dog nuts, they don't want to listen. They don't listen well. This lady told her child was like 2 feet away from her. She was there in proximity. She was there. They were petting other worthless mutts. And that was fine. The child wasn't attacked then. But as soon as they get to this dog, no warning signs and they were attacked. But these people want to blame the victim. Look at this. The mom is after money. Isn't this dog culture all after money too? What are you talking about? And I don't know who I side with. Do I side with the mother because the parents are also wrong, or do I side? The parents are also wrong as well for endangering their child like this. But in a way, I side with them in a way so these dog shelters can learn. So these dog nutters can learn that dogs are dangerous. Dogs should not be purchased or bought to the home. Dogs should not be owned, period. So I hope, she does win something, but I hope she doesn't own a dog. Hope this is a lesson that says, hey, dogs are dangerous. I do not want to endanger my child again with these dogs. Already just had a close call. I'm traumatized. My son is traumatized. I see the injuries. Let's not own a dog ever. Let's not go near dogs ever again.
For a year, and the dog is 4 years old. What happened on the day at Clyde Warren Park will now likely be sorted out in court. Cho just knows they need to do everything they can so what happened to Luca doesn't happen to anyone else.
We just don't want anyone else to get hurt, so we just want to do our part, because if someone does get hurt, then we want to know that we did everything we could to stop that.
You, as parents, pretty much nearly fed your child to dogs. You bring them to a dog shelter. And I'm all for you winning. this case. Like, just for the child's sake, I'm for you winning. So these people learn. They did mention something, but I can't remember what they just said. I wanted to address. Oh yeah, they said the dog is 4 years old and it's been in the shelter for 1 year. So if it's such a good dog, why would it be in the shelter in the first place? Why would such a good dog be in the shelter in the first place? And people don't give away bad things or things that are good or have use. People tend to give away things that are broken, things that don't work, things that are worthless, useless, meaningless. But here we have this 4-year-old dog in the shelter for a year. And what does it do? It attacks someone that could potentially in the future be feeding it. It doesn't matter, new or old stories, they're all relevant today. Inside Edition, I'm afraid to play this because I feel like I'm going to get copy striked. I'm going to play it, but I'm not going to show the video. Maybe
12-year-old.
Smile.
Will this work? No. Yeah, I'm gonna play it. But I'm not gonna play the video. I'm just afraid I'm gonna get strike for this one.
12-year-old male.
Oh my god. I'm sorry for the lagging again. Very sorry for the lagging.
Dolan and her mom Diane of New Mexico love dogs. The newest member of their family is Balto, but they weren't.
I'm going to pause for a second because the volume is very low. So I'm going to adjust the volume.
Weren't so lucky with their last pet, which they adopted from the local shelter.
I am a believer in shelter dogs. I'm interested in rescuing a dog that needs a home.
That dog was named Gardner. The shelter claimed he was a boxer. But about a week after he moved in, he did something scary.
He just turned around and bit me like right there. I was scared of him after.
It turns out Gardner wasn't even a boxer. He was actually a mixed breed pit bull named, get this.
There's a lot we can take from that. But one thing we can take from this is that the shelters, they lied. They lied about the breed of the dog. It is their responsibility to know these things, know the breed of dogs. There is no, we can't afford mistakes in this dog culture. Because we just had one that could have ended even worse. Because we've had situations, we're going to be talking about situations where people adopt dogs and then they are killed by that same dog that they attack, that they have adopted. Mislabeling, lying about dog breeds should not even be a thing. It is unacceptable, highly unacceptable. We got a naive, gullible dog nut family who doesn't do research. They may know a little bit about pit bulls. They may say, I don't want a pit bull. But you say that this thing isn't a pit bull. It's a unknown mix. You just make up these names for it. It's an XL. It's this. You know, they're not going to do their research. The dog's going to lick their face. They're going to think the dog likes them. Hey, they're going to take the dog home. Minutes after getting it, their child is attacked by that dog. We've heard stories of people adopting dogs and then returning it minutes after. Literally minutes after. Unfortunately, I don't have that story with me today, but there are stories out there where families adopt a dog and then minutes after, maybe day after, they return that dog. Finding out, hey, it's not a so-and-so dog, it's actually a pit bull. And this is an example of what happens in this dog industry. They are full of liars. Why would you lie about man's best friend? Why would you lie about dogs? If dogs are so perfect and great and all this, why lie? Why lie in the first place? What do you have to lose if you lie? What do you have to lose if you tell the truth? Obviously, they can still lose their lives because they're going to be getting a dog anyway. So it's like you can still lose your life if you tell the truth about dogs. But what do you have to lose if you tell the truth about what dog it is? I mean, aren't all dogs individuals? Isn't it all how you train it? Take it away.
Danger.
I was angry because it showed a certain intent to be deceitful.
Then there's this guy, Muggsy Malone. Animal welfare records describe him as dangerous. Muggsy even attacked this 3-year-old girl. She'll be scarred for life. Officials now say...
Did you hear that? 3 years old. He was adopted, attacked the 3-year-old. And now she's going to be scarred for life. The dog that's hearing that, it's like, is the dog okay though? That's them. Oh, a dog is going to scar a 3-year-old for life who's a baby, didn't even start a life yet. Scarred for life, disfigured, limbs missing. But the dog that says, is the dog okay? Check this out. My dog was a shelter dog. She's a lab mix, and she attacked me when I was 9. I still have the scar on my arm today. So what does that specific breed of dog people have to do with anything?
Say they are reaching out to families that adopted dogs from the shelter and making changes so this never happens again. Be sure to watch Inside Edition.
So they're reaching out to other people regarding these dogs. I mean, why even own a dog? Why even own a dog if they're going to be attacking you? If they're going to be attacking. Why even do that? Why even risk it? Some of these victims experience being attacked by dogs, or the children being attacked by dogs, but yet they still remain dog nutters. It's baffling. Just don't want to give up their dog nuttery. It's frustrating. The behaviors and the decision making of these dog nuts. They prioritize the dog over their own safety, over their own lives. These dogs are meaningless. This meaningless dog can end someone's life. And in this story, a meaningless dog ripped off someone's arm. Something so worthless ripped off her arm. Someone that is trying to do good for these dogs. In return, it rips off their arm. Hui.
LA animal shelter volunteer after her arm was nearly ripped off in a dog attack back in 2019.
Yeah, the city was found liable too, and the volunteer hopes it will lead to change. KCAL News reporter Lauren Posen live in Lincoln Heights tonight, where she spoke with that victim. Lauren.
Well, Pat and Ross, you know, it's this woman's compassion and love for animals that brought her to volunteer in the very first place. And it's that same love and compassion, along with this verdict, she hopes will now bring changes to shelters just like this one.
Changes. She wants changes. The only best and safest change is to eliminate. Well, first you ban them, then you eliminate these worthless mutts. That is the best and most reliable, perfect change.
A compassion for animals is what brings many people through these doors at the Los Angeles Animal Services Facility in Lincoln Heights.
Animals has always been a big part of my life.
No, it's dogs. We just seen a picture of you with like 6 dogs. It's dogs, not animals. Dogs are not animals. They are brain-damaged mutants. Dogs have been a part of your life. It's not birds. I didn't see you with one bird. I didn't see you with a cat. I didn't see you with a flamingo. I didn't see you with an elephant. You're with dogs. 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 And your obsession with dogs took off your arm.
So when I heard that there were a lot of, most of the dogs wouldn't get out of their kennels for months at a time, it really broke my heart.
Working with animals, even as a volunteer, always comes with a risk. Something Kelly Canico knows, but she...
What risk could it be with working with man's best friend? They always say that, you know, they throw it in there. Like, this is risky, you know. They say never leave children unattended. Well, why not? Why not? If you're going to own such a thing and act as if it's perfect and it's safe and this and that, why even say things like it's risky? Why even say, hey, children and dogs go together? Why even say children should not be left unattended with? Why even do that? Why even have dogs in the first place if you know it's risky? Why even work at a place that you know is very risky? For what? You're volunteering. I'm not knocking volunteering whatsoever, but you're volunteering to help dogs. Dogs. You could have used that time to probably to use scissors and cut your lawn, because it's pretty much that's what you're doing. You're just wasting time. You're wasting energy for dogs. So if you want to volunteer at a dog shelter, get a pair of scissors and cut your lawn with scissors. It's you know, if anything, the cutting the lawn with scissors is a lot safer than wanting to work for free with dogs. Dogs.
She never expected this.
This animal, very sadly, ended up in the shelter. He loved the family very much, and his journey ended up really badly.
So this person who lost an arm to a dog is sympathizing with the dog that took her arm off. Because, with the family, the dog's sad, so she's justifying, sympathizing, having compassion for a dog that ripped off her hand, her arm, for no reason. After she's doing things to help the dog returns the favor by mauling off her arm.
And so it affected my journey as well.
In October
Yes, it did, but you did it to yourself. You did it to yourself. No doubt, you know, you're getting paid. You're getting bank for this. You should not get a dime. You should not get a dime. You shouldn't get a dime. Because you chose, as an adult with a functioning brain, you chose to partake in such activity for free to help dogs. And your reward was your arm getting ripped off. That should be your reward. And you got it. So I don't know why they're giving this bonus. 6.8 million to her for what? She chose to do this. She knew the risk. She even said the dog had, I guess, bad history. You knew the risk. So if you knew the dog had bad history, and he said, why are you working with this dog in particular? Why don't you choose another dog at least? Why don't you just say, no, I can't work with this dog. It has bite history or whatever. It has whatever history. I don't want to work with it. But you choose to work with it. And that cost you an arm.
19, she nearly lost her arm when putting Jax, a German Shepherd mix, back in his kennel.
Sorry. I kept saying she lost an arm. My correction, she narrowly lost her arm. But nevertheless, she was attacked by something that she was trying to help.
Nearly 5 minutes, the 100-pound dog latched onto her arm as she dragged her.
And it's not even a bully breed. It's not even a bully breed. Not a bully breed this time.
Herself and the dog around the facility to find help.
It's a big victory that my arm is still attached to my body.
On Wednesday, a Los Angeles...
See? She is only about dogs. Where's the birds? Where's the elephants? Where's the tigers? It's only about dogs. Dogs. She's a dog nutter and doesn't deserve a dime. She doesn't deserve a dime. Because when you go to someone's property and their dog attacks you, you don't get anything. So it should be considered the same thing. You know the risk. You sign a liability. You know the risk. If you are attacked or killed by any of these dogs, you will not be compensated whatsoever for any loss or damages to your property or to yourself. Dog nuts, they sometimes they get rewarded for such reckless behavior. Reckless behavior. We're gonna go to the Staten Islands this time. Staten Island.
Questions tonight about a rescue dog adopted by a family on Staten Island whose son is now preparing for surgery after he was attacked by the 5-year-old boxer mix. The city-run animal control center insisting the dog was closely monitored for any aggressive behavior before the adoption, and they say they found no warning signs of this. So what happened and what happens now?
There's the second time in this video where we hear no warning signs. They were attacked with no warning signs whatsoever. So, no warning signs. You adopt a dog to help it out and no warning signs.
We want to warn you, some of the images you're about to see in this story might be disturbing. Here's Eyewitness News reporter Jim Dolan.
Said he was friendly and, like a big teddy bear.
The video Animal Care and Control put together about Jack shows a happy, friendly guy, a big, handsome boxer mix looking for a loving home.
Disgusting.
The video.
No. This. Oh my God, I'm trying to pause it. It's not pausing. Why aren't you pausing? I'm sorry, but this is so annoying. But anyways, this is zoophile-ish. This is zoophile behavior. Zoophile behavior. She's a zoophile. Why are you all this so close and intimate with this worthless mutt? Because she's a zoophile. They adopt this dog and she's all lovey-dovey with this thing. And thinking, they seeing this video, Dognut's seeing this video and the picture of this dog. You know what they're saying? They're saying this dog is sweet. Dog is a fur baby. Dog is handsome. All that stuff. But yet it still attacks. So these things can look sweet and handsome all at once. I'm just saying, that's what they say. But it's still going to attack you. It's still going to attack. Ugh. Looking at these things.
In any way.
They said that.
In any way, yes, they said that.
Just 24 hours later, this was Christine's 21-year-old son, Anthony.
Wow. Wow. 24 hours. In just 24 hours, the thing attacks their son. And these are the things that they want to push into our communities, into our homes.
Mauled by Jax in the family's home, bite marks on his head, and his arm is so ripped up we can't really show it to you. Anthony had gotten up to leave the room, and Jax stood up.
And he started growling, barking like really viciously. So my son turned around again to yell at him. And this time he just attacked him from his leg, and it made him fall. And that's when he started attacking him. He went actually for his face.
The individual just stood up and was attacked, and the dog was trying to go to his face, trying to attack his face. But no, the dog was friendly and sweet and handsome. Precious little fur baby. Let's take it home. But in 24 hours, you're going to stand up and you're going to get attacked by these things. Misunderstood.
I seen the dog attacking my son on the staircase, and I ran over, and I told everybody to get away, and I snatched the dog by his collar. I dragged him through the kitchen, threw him out on the balcony, closed the balcony door.
The Pavones have had other dogs.
These are not smart parents. Whether your son is adult or not, your job as a parent is to teach your children to be wise, to make good choices. These parents were not wise. They did not teach their son. Maybe they did in other things. But for dogs, they should have taught their children to be wise about dogs. And that wisdom about dogs is to not own them. Stay far away from them. Stay far away from them. But they didn't do that. They're also dog lovers. They also owned other dogs. So they were all comfortable with dogs. So these parents, they jeopardized their sons' lives, other people's lives in the community, for their own selfishness, own pride for these worthless mutts. They failed as a parent. They failed.
Mr. Pavone keeps guard dogs at the business he owns. But this...
Terrifying. I thought he was dead. I thought he was going to die, my son.
Blood all over his face because the dog bit him in the head, bit both his arms. I think he even bit his leg.
In a statement tonight, Animal Care and Control said based on Jax's previous owner's surrender notes, along with his behavior at the care center, there were no red flags that would indicate the potential for aggression.
The dog just went crazy.
So ugly. Okay, let's say the dog shelter's telling the truth, that there were no signs whatsoever. Does that make it right? Like, does it still make it right to even think about owning these things? With all the resources and sources that we have, why would you think, even if this thing never showed any warning signs ever, like never ever showed any warning signs, why would you think it's a bright idea to bring these into your home and community? Like, what's the point? There are many stories like this, where there's no history and no warning signs. And the results end the same, like every time. Someone's hurt. Someone is always hurt by these things. Always, always, always hurt. It's like, and then the news media will repeat these things. Doesn't it dawn on you that these warning signs and history, it's irrelevant? As long as it's a dog. As long as it's a dog. Stay away from it. Stay away. Far, far away from it. But we now head to in Virginia.
In Columbus, Ohio. Everything was normal in the morning, but I was sitting in the living room watching TV when my uncle came into.
I don't know. I want to say something. I want to say something, but I'm not gonna say it. I don't want to, sound disrespectful to anything else. But this lady, after adopting a dog, was attacked again. But yet she still is a dog nutter.
Into the room, he said,
Look
"Just
at
go
her.
see. Just go look what he did to Debbie." My
No.
aunt."
Look at.
So
I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to say it. America. This is who you have protecting and fighting for your freedoms. This is who you have fighting for your education, fighting for so you can eat, fighting for your liberty and all that stuff. This person, this dog nutter, with 3 filthy, worthless mutts, is fighting for you. This, I'm sorry, but if you have someone like this, a dog nutter fighting for you, then you might want to question. You might want to ask some questions, because this is nonsensical. This looks horrible. She looks dumb. I'm sorry, but she looks dumb. She looks stupid. When I see people walking their dogs, they just look very dumb, holding this thing, walking a worthless mutt. But this one has 3 of them. She was attacked. She looks really, really dumb. I think it's very disrespectful to the United States of America that these types of people are fighting for your freedom.
I jumped up. As I started going down the hallway, I saw my aunt, who was holding her leg and with one hand and the arm with the other. And he looked up at me as I stepped in the room, and he kind of stiffened up his body a little bit. I tried to be nice.
These things are so hideous, man. I'm sorry, I can't.
Shock collar on it
hideous.
that Forever Homes had said that he needed to wear as it was charging at the time. I took one step more towards him, and he just started biting me. He came at me out of nowhere and just started biting me repeatedly on the arm. He got me a few times on the chest and many times on the leg. Before my uncle burst into the room, he was carrying his pistol, and the dog tried to come.
I'm sorry, like she just get to the point, lady. Gosh, you have these dim-witted dog nutters fighting for your freedoms. Fighting for your freedoms. Takes long to get to the point, talking so slow, but it's no surprise she is a dog nutter. And her house stinks. Look at her sofa. You can see all the nasty stuff on her sofa. House probably stinks. The floor's probably stained up. Smells like piss and dog shit. God, these people are just disgusting. They disgust me. They highly disgust me. Yeah, 10 people killed by their dogs. Remember this story back in 2017? She was mauled by Rottweilers or pit bulls. Yeah, pit bulls. Was left in the woods, and they're pretty much eating her, eating her body. How about Tanaya Kalemic, from Australia with her pit bull, again another pit bull-like dog, until it bit her to death. Like, it bit her to death. They said it bit her to death. It mauled her to death. Linda Oliver, back in 2013, from a Rottweiler massive dog. What is that? What is that? Rottweiler, these are the things they want. They're hideous. I mean, it's like the uglier they are, it's like the more dangerous they're going to be. And she wanted this, and she got what she deserved. I'm sorry, you got what you deserved. You wanted it. Got what you deserve. And they're saying this act of kindness turned deadly when the dog bit Linda to death. And they use the word bit, as in it bit once and just walked away. No, it attacked and mauled her to death. And then they found the other dog attacking her other worthless mutt. Mario, I'll call it Mario P, in 2017 was bitten to death by his stoned dog while filming a documentary for the BBC. The BBC crew was at, I'll call it Pravidio's home on the night of the attack. They were interviewing and filming him for a documentary about drugs. August 2018, we have Della Riley. She suffered a seizure. And when the emergency responders arrived, the dog was attacking her. So she had a seizure. Her son ran out the house for help. Not sure how old the son was, but the son ran outside for help. So as she was having the seizure, the dog was attacking her. How about this? Phyllis in 2007. I mean, these are some old stories. Again, it's nothing new under the sun. She was bitten to death by one of her dogs. She's been to death by one of her dogs. A larger dog, smaller female in her home. So why didn't the other dog intervene and be like, hey, don't do this, that's wrong? But no. Nope. Not even the other dog can talk dog language to the dog and say, hey, this is wrong. Kelly Chapman in 2008 was 24 years old. We have Laureen May, 2008. In 2009, Hill Andrew Williams was bitten to death by his two dogs in California. And they say the cause of attack remains unclear. These things don't need a reason to attack. They're brain damaged mutants. They're brain damaged mutants that relies on other species to train them to act a certain way. Why would they need a reason to attack? They're going to attack because that's what they do. They attack. They attack anyone. Anyone. No one's safe. And then, unnamed woman and her son also were killed by the worthless mutt. And they say wolf dogs mauled this person. You think this would be a lesson learned that even if you own these things, feed it, have, good judgment, good heart, etc. You want the best for these things, you're still going to get mauled by them. And this is only 10. There are thousands of examples like this. Thousands of examples. I'm going to take a little bit of a break. I'll be back to continue with, showing that even as owners, while you're trying to do a good deed for these dogs, you're still going to get attacked and or killed by them. I'll be right back. We are back. Going to continue with looking at various stories regarding dogs attacking their owners, whether recently adopted, rescue dogs, etc. We're just based on a few stories that are just, again, mind-numbing. That people out there are willing to risk their lives for something that can tear them apart. And it's not like we hear this like once a year. This happens year-round, worldwide. You know, it's the worldwide thing where people adopt these dogs and then they get attacked by them. They die by them. Many stories like that. This question asks, why do dogs attack their owners? I've had dogs since I was when I was a little girl, and currently have 3 dogs and 1 worthless little puppy in my house. 2 are pit bull mixes. 1, I don't care what they're called. It's irrelevant. So my dog's temperaments are all over the place. They have never even made an aggressive growl at me. So what happens to a dog to make it turn on the person that feeds them, cares for them, and gives them shelter? Let's see what they're going to say. This person says, we took in a rescue dog. Red Merle Aussie, had him for 5-6 years. He's part of the family, very loved. One morning, it was peacefully laying in bed. It climbed up for a cuddle. Come on, what is zoophile-ness, man? Like a million mornings before, and not a minute later, it attacked me all on my face, half of an inch more, and I would have lost my eye. Never once before did it ever display any aggression. We've heard this before. Heard this many times. Towards me or my husband, but after that, he was never the same, and we had to put it down. Our vet wondered if maybe it had a brain tumor that may have caused it. Who knows? See, they don't even know themselves why these things attack. And they're going to come up with various, excuses and lies about, or speculation of why it attacks, but they never know exactly why it attacks. And that's dangerous. If you don't know exactly why they're going to turn on their owners or attack their owners, then this is a heavy risk. I already did a video about taking these risks. Owning these things is very risky because you don't know when they're going to attack. You don't know why they're going to attack, when they're going to attack, where they're going to attack, and it happens so often. And this is a prime example of them explaining, we did nothing, there was no aggression. But a lot of these dog nuts will come to these people and say, hey, you abused it, you did something, you provoked it. Even when they're telling the truth, saying we did nothing. We hugged and groped each other for many years, and then one day it attacked us. And the dog was never the same. So one day it just has a brain tumor and it decides to attack you. Again, these things are very risky. Very risky. A lot of things can provoke these things to attack. Whether or not this thing did have a brain tumor, attacking the hands that feed them it doesn't make sense. Does not make sense. It just means you have no understanding of these things, none whatsoever. You may think you have understanding because you can make a dog sit for food, but in reality, you have no understanding about these dogs. Because not even the vets know why they just suddenly attack. The experts don't know. You as the owner who's been with this dog for 5-6 years, you still don't know why it would attack. So you don't know anything about dogs. After all these years, you think you know something about your worthless mutt, but it attacks and you have no idea why it attacks. These dogs, they're very risky. Very risky. It says almost this exact same happened with my dog, with my dad and its worthless collie dog. This person also says, I knew a woman whose mom had to put her worthless mutt down. She was babysitting a neighbor's kid. She was babysitting a neighbor's kid that she'd babysat many times before. Her dog woke up from a nap, immediately attacked the little girl. Just like that. Just woke up and decided to attack. These are brain damaged mutants. I'm not even going to get into these things that have parasites in them, because we all know they have parasites, but at the end of the day, they're brain damaged mutants. This thing woke up and suddenly just wants to attack a girl? That means we don't know anything about these dogs. Or at least they don't. These people, they own these dogs for years. Years. They own dogs. Many dogs. Been around us for years. They attack, and all of a sudden they have no idea why would attack. That means you have no understanding of dogs. Look at this. I've noticed a lot of owners are oblivious to warning signs. They lean over the dog, grab them, hug them, kiss them while the dog's giving whale eyes. Okay, this person literally explained that they would give the dog hugs every morning. They saw no warning signs, but then there's always people like this that want to add things to it. Add things that are not even there into the original post. These dogs, they have like 3 examples of people saying their dogs randomly attacked out of nowhere. This person says that the dog woke up from This dog woke up from a nap and immediately attacked the little girl. Who has time for that, to look for these things? It wakes up and immediately, you're so used to the dog doing what it does. They're not going to be watching for this. They're not watching the dog. The dog wakes up, they turn their back as if nothing's going to happen. This dog went straight for the child and attacked. They were always hugging in the morning, groping at each other in the morning, and suddenly the dog just woke up and attacked. But this person wanted to add things that are not even in these posts. They ignore their peasant gestures when the dog smacks them with their paw. Licks them once and then turns around, tries to ignore them once to keep peace. But this dog, look. They said, what did they say? Who's not here? Okay, it's this person. One morning, I was peacefully laying in bed and climbed up to cuddle the worthless mutt like a million mornings before. They've done this a million times. I mean, not a million, but they've done it a lot of times. Every morning, nearly every morning. They've done it all the time. They've hugged and did all that crap for a million times. The dog goes up to them a million times doing the same thing over and over and over and over. But we always have one of these dog nuts that always want to inject these types of things into discussions like this when these things are totally irrelevant to the subject that we're talking about. And I've always said, never get comfortable. I always said, being comfortable around dogs is a very dangerous thing. Very, very dangerous. These people were comfortable doing these routines with these dogs. And they get attacked. But we was having these people want to inject things that are not there. What is this? And no one had the audacity to put this person in place. Coming in with their rubbish. Like, did you not read the post and that people are saying? They've done certain things for years. With these dogs, and suddenly they attack. You have a dog, and the dog, you're so used to the dog being a dog, you're going to turn your back. You're not going to be looking for warning signs. You're going to think its behavior is normal, even if it does show warning signs. Do you really think you're going to be like, oh, dog's showing warning signs, I got to protect myself? No. What you're going to do is continue to do what you do all the time. You're going to continue to do what you do all the time. Whether it's showing whatever warning signs, you're going to do what you do all the time. You're going to think nothing of it. You're going to turn your back on the dog. You're going to go back to sleep. And then it happens. And this person says, I've read stories that there is always a trigger. Did you not just read what they just said? Dog suddenly attacked without warning. And we read, looked at other posts. Again, without warning. No signs of aggression. Attacking. And the person said they almost had a brain tumor. Always a trigger. There does not always need to be a trigger for dog attacks. Dog attacks because that's what they do. It's what they do. They're dangerous. They're brain damage mutants. They're just going to attack. Talk about resource guarding, territory aggression, yada yada. But these people above explain that they have a routine that they've been doing for years. And then it attacks. I mean, territorial aggression? Why does that even exist? If we're discussing dogs attacking their owners, why does that even exist? We share the same home. You know, I'm feeding you. I'm doing all this stuff for you. You know, I'm showing love to you. We play, you know, we're bonding. Why would there be any such thing as a territorial aggression between the dog and the owner? That makes no sense. You're saying you're living with someone for many years, whether your children, etc. And they do something and you decide to hit them. You're gonna say it's territorial aggression. That makes no sense. I mean, if that means you don't understand dogs. If you know that they have some type of territorial aggression, and you're gonna bring them into your own house, and that territorial aggression is going to remain in them, why? And that can lead to people being attacked. Why even risk it? Why bring them into your home if they have these traits to them? They have sexual aggression where they cut off their junk and you know, they can't mate or whatever. Why bring them into you? Redirection, they're frustrated. All these triggers, which is a part of life, part of a home. Things happen in a home. Things happen in a home. As you people, you're going to talk it out. You're going to use your words. But dogs are going to attack you first. They're going to attack the hands that feed them. Attack the hands that have been showing them love from the very beginning. Why risk this? Why? There's also that if two dogs are barking at a window and the owner comes over and tries to move one dog, the other might be so overstimulated, redirects and nails the owner and the other dog. Why even have something that's going to do that? Dude, there are so many so-called reasons why dogs may attack their owners. But yet, a lot of these dog nutters will risk it anyways. I mean, you're providing everything for this dog. You're a dog lover. You're providing everything for your dog. Dogs are man's best friend. But yet they have so much obstacles. They have so much triggers that can make the dog attack the owner. Here, we're sharing the same home. And this dog has territorial aggression. Does that make sense? Resource guarding? You're in the same home. Your owner is feeding you food when it doesn't have to feed you anything. The owner does not have to feed these dogs anything, but the dog will get triggered by something and attack that same person that is feeding them. This dog culture is messed up. And look at this. The same way a human being, genetics in general, rain makeup can lead them to do terrible things is the same way dogs' genetics make up and can make them terrible choices. It's not always the owner. Dude, no, it's dogs. Dogs are just brain damaged. All of them are just brain damaged mutants. Which is why, you have to train them to not behave a certain way. But even when you train them to not be a certain way, they still will act as a dog. They still will be a dog. They still have the traits as a dog. You can train them left to right all day, all night. But just like Cesar Millan's dog, it can still attack you. My neighbor was killed by his pit bull, but always treated the dog well. The dog always seemed gentle until it wasn't. And they say they're knowledgeable trainers. Yeah, right. And they can't explain what triggered it. Man. I mean, so you're telling me this person treated the dog well. This guy made maybe one little mistake. One tiny mistake. One trigger. Touched the dish by his foot once. And the dog decided to maul him to death. If that's all it takes to maul you to death, to get yourself mauled, dogs should not be acceptable. Period. They shouldn't be owned. Period. God, there's so much more here, man. Dogs are wired differently. Brain damaged mutants. That's what they are. Here we go. They say genetics, bad breeding, especially the problem with pit bulls. It's more powerful breed, bad training, and bad brain wires equal not fun. But this guy treated the dog very well, wherever it was. Compton in the house. Back in Compton, back early this year, in February the 21st, 13 pit bulls euthanized, including 8 puppies, after owner is mauled to death. How about that? We have this pit nutter looking after these worthless mutts, and one day they just maul him to death. They didn't give him a chance to explain himself. They just devoured him. They devoured him. Just like that. They all just devoured him. And these are the people. These pit nuts and bully tarts are the people that will gloat and be boastful about owning pit bulls. And I bet this same guy gloated about pit bulls. This is the same guy that acted tough being around pit bulls. He probably was on various comments saying pit bulls never attack this, they would never attack. It's how you train it. And guess what? They end up mauling him. probably stated it's how you trained it. He probably stated, hey, you triggered it somehow. That's why they attacked. And in the end, another pit nutter is dead because of his recklessness, his arrogance, and ignorance. So they just mauled him, and none of the other dogs could say, hey, stop. Don't do that. They're not gonna do, obviously they're not gonna do that. Because dogs are they're worthless. They're just dogs. We don't see this with other animals, only with dogs, and especially these bully breeds. It's the same fate over and over and over again. I know I'm an hour in this video, an hour. I still have lots to show. You know what? I'm gonna go through this one and then take a break, and I'll do a part 2. Miami-Dade police believe a dog may have killed a man inside his home Tuesday night. This happened in Florida. The dog appears to have killed owner inside Florida home, police say. The investigators responded to the man's home after his friend found him dead in the garage. Police found the victim on the floor with multiple dog bite wounds. Identified the man as 29-year-old Alexander Andres Torres. They learned that the friend went to check on him after he was concerned when he hadn't heard from Torres in several days. The individual lived alone and had a disability. How about that? He was living alone with this dog, and he had a disability. I know the dog because sometimes the dog is leaving, and I try to help the dog to the house. The victim's neighbor told WTVJ, "Incredible, I can't believe it. He's a big dog, but I never saw something wrong with the dog." Again, here they go again. You know, different words, but what they mean is they never saw aggression in the dog. Never saw any aggression. There's no bite history, no warning signs. That's what they really want to say. It was a terrier mix, pit bull, a bully breed. It's unclear when the attack exactly happened and how long the body was in the garage. Police believe the death was caused by the dog attack, but the official cause will need to be determined by a medical examiner. No doubt it had to be the dog. I mean, was there bite marks on the individual? Pretty sure it was the dog. I mean, again, it's not the first time this has happened. And I think it's, again, another thing that, stands out is he lived alone and had a disability. I'm not sure what his disability was. And he was cooped up in the house with a bully breed. And that bully breed mauled him. And his body wasn't found till maybe a day or a couple days after. And people want to call dogs man's best friend. Man's best friend. Dogs are better than people. But here we have a dog that mauled the person to death. And the dog isn't going to notify the neighbors about what they did. This is a man on disability, and this dog still mauled him. Found dead in his home. And they did say that the man had multiple dog bite wounds. Dog culture. These dog owners are very reckless. Reckless indeed. Whether or not they're placing their child in a dog shelter amongst many dogs, whether or not, they stand up for a second and they're getting attacked, whether or not they're living by themselves, they're the owner, rescue dogs or not, or they're volunteering to help dogs, dogs will still attack the owner. They will still attack people that mean them well. They will still attack people that have owned dogs in the past. It's just reckless at this point. It is reckless. Not even at this point, but it's reckless behavior from these dog owners. And a lot of these dog owners, dog lovers, dog experts, they will protect and justify dog attacks by talking about triggers. We've read and heard many stories where they discussed there was no bite history. There were no warning signs. The dog was never aggressive before. But yet the dog still attacked and or killed the owner. The dog still killed the hands that fed him. I'll be back with part 2. I'm not sure what I'm going to call this one, but I'll still be back. But anyways, Gore the Dog Butcher, another worthless mutts. Please remember, it is okay to hate dogs.